Going on, Falcon fans? This is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about the good and the bad from yesterday's win against the Seattle Seahawks. Then we're going to go ahead and put this game in the bag, and we're going to start focusing on those Cleveland Browns Sunday game at home. So guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys like hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So like I said, guys, we're talking about the first win of the season. We're going to talk about the good and the bad. Things that I feel that we can work on, moving forward. Just the third game of the season. Still have 14 games left to play. So we're not where we want to be right now, but we're moving in the right directions. And I'm going to talk about some of the good things, in the first three games that we can actually take and build on. Then I'm going to talk about some of the bad things, of course. And good thing about today, it's going to be more good things than bad things, right? Because we did get a win. I think you could have did that in each week. Take the good and the bad. But today I want to focus more on the good today. Just some things that we can take, like I said, from the first three games. And considering we got a win yesterday, that's where we're gonna start. So for the first thing, we want to talk about one of the keys that I had earlier this week was going touchdowns, not field goals. And we was able to do that this week. We was able to score 3 out of 4 times in the red zone. That was the difference in the game. Because if you think about it, we was able to keep the Seattle Seahawks for not scoring, right? So that's the good thing about it. We was able to score touchdowns and we was able to keep them for not scoring touchdowns. With all the things that happened yesterday, the Atlanta Falcons only gave up 3 points in the second half. So that's just a positive thing to take out of. So you think about it, from a good standpoint, we was able to score. We were able to keep them from scoring touchdown. They kicked field goals, but they went 2 for 5 in the red zone yesterday. That's good for our defense. That's good things. We was able to score a touchdown. They was not able to score a touchdown. So that's one good thing we're going to take away from yesterday. You have to take that, right? That's a good thing. A lot of things we might wasn't pleased with looking at from the defense side of the ball, right? But that's one good thing we can take away from it. We was able to keep those guys from scoring touchdowns and actually putting 3 points on the board. I think if you ask any defensive coach, you can look at the yardage and things like that. But at the end of the day, we was able to keep those from scoring touchdowns, and they was just stopping field goals. All right. Another good thing from a defensive standpoint, we was able to get 8 pass defense yesterday. So all those yards that Geno Smith got yesterday, and a good thing that came out of was our defense was active. Yes, looked like those guys was running free in our coverages and things like that. But it could have been worse. But we did have eight pass defense yesterday. AJ Terrell, who somebody that been picked on a little bit this season early, especially in the red zone. He had 3 of those pass defense by himself, and then Rashaan Evans and Richard Grant had 2 as well pass defense, and then the other one came from Michael Walker. So those are 8 pass defenses. So it could have been a lot worse in the defensive backfield, but those guys did get their hand in some ball, get some tips and things like that. So that's one good thing we look at. We got 8 pass defenses yesterday in the defensive backfield, which is a good thing. Like I said, sometimes you overreact looking at the game. You go back and look at it. You take some things from it, some good things that you can actually take away, and some things that these guys could build on. Right? That's what we want to look at. Another good thing was Marcus Mariota. He played well. I think Marcus Mariota has been playing well all season, right? On these first three games, it's just the little things that he needs to clean up. But for the most part, he had 13 completions yesterday, but all 13 of those completions, they was positive. Right? He had most of all those first down catches that he threw. So the average was 17.6 yards a pass. So he made passes down the field. He wasn't dinking and dunking this game. They was deliberate. Start the game off, coming in, throwing the ball down the field, identifying the mismatches with Kyle Pitts. We saw the first play of the game would have been a touchdown, but it was not because he kind of overthrew Kyle Pitts. Maybe it was a adrenaline or whatever it was, but Marx Mariota actually did play the ball, and everybody talk about accuracy. We still seen some inaccurate throws at times, but for the most part, he was pretty good going down the field with the ball. Like I said, 17.6 yards reception, which is really good for Marcus Mariota. From a special team standpoint, Young Wei Koo was able to get back on track. Had two long field goals. One was 54 yards. The other one was like 40 something. So that's great for Young Wei Koo to get back on track. Just a little off last week, of course, missing that one field goal. He was able to get the other ones that he had in Los Angeles last week. But just to see that Young Wei Koo still can do his thing, get out there, did only punt it one time in the entire game. So um, Bradley Pinion didn't get a lot of work. But from a special team standpoint, you like to see that our kicker getting back on track. Um, he's one of the most accurate kickers in the last few years anyway, so that's not a surprise. Like I said, just last week was a little shock of the thing, that he missed, right? And then the last stat we're going to talk about, last two stats, of course. Um, we got 80 points total from offensive standpoints in the first three games, right? That's tops, especially in NFC South, scoring that many points. So our offense is clicking right now. We can take our hats off to, of course, how Marcus Mariota is actually managing the offense, and then Arthur Smith, how he utilizing his weapons and his talent to be able to move the ball and put points on the board. Atlanta Falcons right now is one of the top scoring teams in the NFL. So in the first 3 weeks, those are some good things that we can take from that. Also, we are fifth in rushing right now, which is good, right? We always talking about being able to run the ball, and that's what we're able to do. We're running the ball well. Fifth in rushing right now. Cordell Patterson is looking real good. Tyler Algier is giving him the spot rest that he need. Hopefully, we can get him going more because both of those guys are 200 monsters. And then if he can get start being a little hesitant when he get the ball, like Cordell Patterson, maybe we can have a two-headed monster in that backfield. And then, like I said, guys, the last thing is that we stood up. We only gave up 3 points in the second half. So those are some positives that we can take away from the game yesterday to actually help us get the win. And if you think about it, every time we get Kyle Pitts involved, we talked about Kyle Pitts all week, moving coming up to the game on Sunday. And every time Kyle Pitts gets involved in the game, the Atlanta Falcons seem to do well. I think that's a formula that we should stick with. Of course, they're going to try to take away Kyle Pitts, but we have to be able to get Kyle Pitts involved. It's always going to be mismatches for him, I think. So we just got to identify those, pick them out, and take advantage of it when we can. All right, those are the good things that we can talk about from yesterday's game. Like I said, it's more good things than bad things because we actually got to win, right? All right, so let's talk about some bad things, things that we got to clean up moving forward, and things that we really want to make sure that we start to nip it in the bud, before it really gets out of hand. Because if we don't, it can make us lose games, right? Especially in a game like coming up, we gonna have here on Sunday. So the first thing is our running defense. Yes, I'm talking about our running defense. We gave up 95-yard rushing yesterday, but we know the dynamic duo that we got coming in, and we know what the Cleveland Browns want to do. They want to be able to run the ball. So one of the things that was bad yesterday, our run defense. They came out too early. We knew they wanted to run the ball, and they was able to do that. They was able to establish the run, get in and put us on our heels, and that's open up their passing game for them, their play action pass and things like that. So we definitely want to be able to stop those guys, and fix the running. That's one thing I did not like yesterday, our running defense. We gave up 325 passing yards yesterday. Yes, like I said, I understand we didn't give up a lot of points. We was able to shut them down when we got down in the red zone. Good for the Atlanta Falcons be able to stand up in those key moments, but at the same time, um, like I said, I don't think Geno Smith is not really a great quarterback. I think another quarterback could definitely take advantage of that. So we want to be able to put more pressure on the quarterback in our pass rush. We was able to do it in the fourth quarter when it mattered the most, but we got to be able to not let these guys get in rhythm like Geno Smith was able to get in rhythm in that first half of the game. And to put it in perspective, guys, they had 420 yards yesterday. Coming into this game, in two games, they had a total of 469 yards. So we don't want to be that get right team for offenses that's struggling and things like that. We want to be able to keep them where they're at, not have them, to find something and get on track when they say they want to play the Atlanta Falcons from a defensive standpoint. We was able to stop them from scoring, but to me, that's a lot of yards. That's why the game looked the way it looked. Like I said, 420 yards total. They only had 469 coming into this game. So we have to do a better job, stopping the run and limiting they pass by putting pressure on the quarterback. We gave up 3 sacks yesterday. It's not a big deal. It didn't. I don't think it affected a lot of it wasn't really on the offensive line. We had a couple free blitzers coming up the middle from the side that Marx Mariota didn't see. I don't know what happened, but he had a couple big hits on him, or free blitzers. That got to be more on the call. The quarterback got to be able to see that. I know one of his sacks, he was coming out of bootleg and the guy was right there. So things like that. We gave up 3 sacks. I don't think it was so much on the offensive line. I think the offensive line pocket was pretty good yesterday. For the most part, Marcus Mariota has to utilize the clock in his head and get rid of the ball quicker. On some instances, step up in the pocket a little bit better, especially on the one that got tipped on that fumble that Caleb McGarry recovered. But those are some of the things that we definitely got to look at from a sack standpoint. We gave it 3 sacks yesterday, so we have to clean up that aspect of the game. Like I said, sacks are big, especially in situations, and then you can cause turnovers that way. Like I said, we did. We got away with one yesterday, but we don't want to have that to become a trend for us. So giving up those sacks, we got to be able to limit the sacks on the quarterback. And then the last thing, but not least, is turnovers. And I mean the really talking about Marcus Mariota here, he has to be smarter with the ball. That turnover that he had when the Atlanta Falcons was completely in control of the game. The Seattle Seahawks was on their heels. We was moving the ball. We was definitely probably going to run the clock out there, maybe even put some more points on the board. And just a silly mistake, fumbling the ball right there, could have cost us the game. That's 3 weeks in a row that Marcus Mariota has fumbled the ball. He has to be able to start to take care of the ball better. Those are rookie mistakes. That's why so many fans are clamoring from Desmond Ridder. If we're going to have a guy making rookie mistakes, why not put the rookie in? But like I said earlier, I think Marcus Mariota is playing good football right now. Just got to limit those mistakes, especially in key situations like we had yesterday. I felt like Atlanta Falcons had all the momentum, and he was able to give it back to him with, and it was all on him. It was no cause of the other opposing team. Seattle didn't do anything. He just dropped the ball. He did it in the Saints game twice. Did it in the Rams game. It was at the end of the game, but he did fumble, and then he did it yesterday. So those are kind of things we could keep us from being 0-3 to 3-0 if you think about it, because we definitely could have went 0-3 yesterday with that fumble, and if we don't fumble in some of those other games, we might be 3-0. So those are things we can't have those mistakes. Those are the bags. I know that he's not doing it on purpose, but you can't. You got to be able to concentrate and make the right plays and make the right decision in those kind of situations. So those are things that from a veteran quarterback who's been in the league 8 seasons we cannot have, right? Kind of remind me of things that Jameis Winston be doing with the Aints, right? We don't want that kind of quarterback um, for the Atlanta Falcons. But for the most part, like I said, I think he's been playing decent football. He's running the offense just like Arthur Smith want. You can see the kind of offensive talent and the how the offensive scheme that Arthur Smith can definitely have with this Atlanta Falcon team. You can see it maturing more and more each week. Um, we just got to have a quarterback that's competent, that's going to be able to do the things that he want him to do at this point in time. And it could be Desmond Ritter in the future. We don't know that yet. I don't think he's ready to put him out there right now. Like I said, for the most part, Marx Mariota played fairly well. So um, let's see, can we stack 2 wins this week? I will be back on Wednesday to talk about my keys for the game. So, guys, that's all I have. Let me know what you think about the good and the bad from our first win against the Seattle Seahawks. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.